Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Shopify's point-of-sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments in person? We've got you covered. How about card readers you can rely on anywhere you sell?
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, that too. Want one place to manage all your online and in-person sales? That's kind of our thing. Wherever you sell, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/Spotify. Shopify.com/Spotify.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, everybody talking about Zohran Mamdani. And he comes out with a video saying, you don't really have to cooperate with ICE. You don't have to worry about ICE. You don't have to really abide by ICE. Not to worry whatsoever. To me, this is shocking. He is not even the mayor of New York. He's taking over, of course, on January 1st, less than a month away. And already he is saying, if ICE comes to your door, you don't need to cooperate. You can remain silent. He also says that ICE can, quote, lie to you. So if you listen to this video, sounds like he is absolutely vilifying ICE. Sounds like he is questioning their authority. He's also saying, hey, this is what a warrant looks like. If they don't have it exactly like this, if it doesn't look exactly like what I'm showing you right here, you don't have to cooperate. You don't have to answer the door. So he's saying that all of you in there, you can essentially become your own sort of filters and decide when you feel like talking to ICE and when you don't feel like talking to ICE. And to me, this is really stunning. I'm not surprised that Zohran Mamdani is saying this. This is what he said on the campaign trail. And to me, this guy is a true believer. He's not just saying certain things for political gain, or he's saying certain things that he's going to flip and flop. No, he telegraphed who he was. He told us all that he was going to fight ICE. He told us all that he was saying that I will not have NYPD cooperate with the federal authorities in any shape or form. And guess what? He is living true to his message. He is saying that under no circumstance will I have the local police cooperate with ICE. And this is why it's going to be a showdown, I think, Royale at some point between President Trump and Zohran Mamdani. They were all buddy-buddy. It looked like a little bit of a bromance there in the Oval Office when they met that, not that long ago. But quickly, I think things are fading. And quickly, if they both stick to their guns, and they clearly will, because Trump is certainly a strong personality, and Mamdani is also certainly a strong personality, I don't see them giving in under any shape or form, either of them. And I see President Trump saying, you know what? Maybe I will withhold federal funds. You know what? If you don't cooperate and you don't allow us to arrest a lot of these bad folks, maybe we will have to take matters into our own hands and send the National Guard. And it's going to be an interesting dance, guys, between all of these characters. And in addition to that, you've got an election year for governor. So you've got, in the middle of all of this, also Governor Kathy Hochul, who is running for governor. And there's word that tomorrow, Bruce Blakeman, Nassau County executive, is going to be throwing his name in the hat. So it looks like it's going to be him. It looks like it may be Elise Stefanik still staying in, or maybe she might even do something else. We were talking about it earlier today on Katz and Cosby. She may end up doing even something else in the House, something really big. Who knows? I mean, there's these reports out there, maybe even speaker or something. I mean, boy, oh boy, it could be a very interesting time. But there is no doubt that 2026 is going to be a big year. And Zohran Mamdani is already digging in and saying he will do anything he can to defy essentially federal authorities. He's also hiring these people. I mean, he hired this guy who has armed robberies in his background. You can't make it up. He's on his criminal justice reform committee. So let's just hire somebody who had a whole bunch of bank robberies because he's such a model citizen, right? So this is who he's putting in. This is how he's doubling and tripling down. And listen to the video for yourself and see if you find it as reprehensible as I do. Here's Zoran Mamdani putting this out on X, telling everybody, stand down, stand up, go against ICE.
Last weekend, ICE attempted to raid Canal Street and detain our immigrant neighbors. As mayor, I'll protect the rights of every single New Yorker, and that includes the more than 3 million immigrants who call this city their home. But we can all stand up to ICE if you know your rights. If you encounter ICE, these are the things that every New Yorker should know. First, ICE cannot enter into private spaces like your home, school, or a private area of your workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. That looks like this. If ICE does not have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, you have the right to say, I do not consent to entry, and the right to keep your door closed. Sometimes ICE will show you paperwork that looks like this and tell you that they have the right to arrest you. That is false. ICE is legally allowed to lie to you, but you have the right to remain silent. If you're being detained, you may always ask, am I free to go, repeatedly until they answer you. You are legally allowed to film ICE as long as you do not interfere with an arrest. It is important to remain calm during any interaction with ICE or law enforcement. Do not impede their investigation, resist arrest, or run. One last thing. New Yorkers have a constitutional right to protest, and when I'm mayor, we will protect that right. New York will always welcome immigrants, and I will fight each and every day to protect, support, and celebrate our immigrant brothers and sisters.
There is so much in there. I can't wait to get your reaction, because when I hear him say, we'll protect our right also to protest, it's like, buckle up. There's going to be a lot of protests, and I'll be running them. Don't think I'm going to be squashing them. They are First Amendment rights. I guess it's First Amendment rights if they're breaking into Macy's. Is that First Amendment rights if they're threatening Jewish students? Is that First Amendment rights? Also, Mr. Mayor-elect. Well, earlier today, Joe Borelli, he is the minority leader. He's the former one at the New York City Council, and he was there for quite some time. And this is what the former New York State Rep Joe Borelli had to say about the video you just heard.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that the mayor of the largest city would probably, ideally at least, hope that people would comply with law enforcement and not hold rallies and protests that make their way into violent assaults on ICE officers. But look, people have compared Zoran Mamdani and Donald Trump, and here's one of the similarities. They both tell you exactly what they're going to do on the campaign trail. And to his credit, Zoran Mamdani has been extremely clear about doing this from the moment he started his campaign. I mean, this is what sanctuary city policy is going to look like under a radical socialist mayor, where it's not just enough to be a sanctuary city. He's encouraging the constituency, the New Yorkers out there, to actually actively oppose ICE, not just people, under the investigation of ICE, but people just in the streets. He wants them to actively oppose ICE as they execute their lawful duties inside the city of New York. This is a new day for New York. This is a far cry from Mayor Adams and anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah, I agree. This is not like somebody who you go, okay, well, I don't agree with his policies per se, but things are going to be okay. It'll be bumpy. This guy is a true believer. And we were talking about on Friday night, he comes out and says, yeah, essentially he's going to arrest Netanyahu. He's putting Netanyahu and Putin in the same place, saying they both have warrants out by this extremely credible, and I'm putting that in air quotes, guys, International Criminal Court. So I find it interesting that he's willing to abide by the International Criminal Court when it comes to Israel, but when it comes to federal policies in America, he won't abide by that. He wants to block ICE at every twist and turn. And I think he is going to try to be the, quote, nemesis of Trump. He's like positioning himself to be that. And so earlier today, I talked with Tom Homan, John Katz, and I talked with Tom Homan on Katz and Cosby, and listened to what the Borders Czar had to say about Zoran Mamdani and his new little video. This video that New York City Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani essentially telling illegals to evade ICE. Tom, it's really incredible to see this. He hasn't even taken office yet, and he's telling them, here, you can ignore this, you can ignore that. What's your reaction when you hear this from Zoran Mamdani?
It's not going to affect what we're doing. ICE will continue the operations in New York every day. They'll be out there tonight. They'll be out there tomorrow. They'll be out there next day. I mean, we're used to sanctuary cities pushing back on us. This is nothing new. So we're going to keep out there. We're going to make New York even safer again, every other sanctuary city for that matter of the fact. But we're just going to keep doing our job.
And Bill O'Reilly also weighed in. He said it's not very smart for Zoran Mamdani to do that because he definitely needs Trump financially to keep the city going. So listen to this, because, of course, Trump holds the purse strings. Zoran Mamdani put out a video essentially saying defy ICE, telling illegals. He just says migrants, anybody who's immigrated here, he kind of puts them all in one category, defy ICE. What do you think's ahead with this guy?
I don't think that's a smart move on his part, because once he comes into the public policy arena, violating federal law, which is what he's doing, then President Trump's going to take action against him in the city. And so why would you do that when you're not even in office yet? You want the federal funding to get cut because that's what's going to happen. So I thought it was a foolish move by Mamdani.
Very smart, because Trump and he sort of seem to have nice in the Oval Office, but that nice is not going to last. That's my prediction. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Robert in Brooklyn on line 3. Go ahead, Robert, your thoughts tonight.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Well, in terms of the First Amendment, the right to protest, that's talking about peaceful protest. And also, the First Amendment initially only applied to the federal government, and by via the 14th Amendment, it also applies to the state government. But it doesn't apply to private places like Macy's. And also a synagogue, people who are trying to pray, worship in a synagogue, they also have rights. And when you have people encroaching on the property of the Holocaust, the rabbi is a Holocaust survivor, what about the First Amendment rights of the people trying to pray and learn and engage in their religious belief in the synagogue? That's an encroachment of the rights of the Jewish people trying to worship in the synagogue. So now President Trump has a big problem. His Department of Justice he had Bill Barr, he had Sessions, and now he has this Pam Bondi. Now, like a couple of weeks ago or something, President Trump tweeted something, posted something on his Truth Social saying about arrest somebody. But the point is that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are not arresting people. Ultimately, it's President Trump's responsibility to find someone who's going to get the job done.
So wait a minute. Hold on, Robert. Hold on. I got a couple quick questions for you. First off, you're right about the protests at the synagogue, because I found it absolutely reprehensible that Zoran Mamdani, after that protest that blocked the doors of the synagogue and where they were chanting, "We don't want you to feel safe," essentially to the worshipers, the Jewish worshipers, I found it absolutely repulsive. They never should have been at the front door, blocking the door, shouting these reprehensible things. There's so many things wrong with it. So I'm worried exactly about protests like that getting completely out of control. And I'm worried about Mamdani saying to the NYPD, you cannot interfere. They are First Amendment. That's not First Amendment when you make people feel threatened. That's not First Amendment, to your point, when they are blocking their ability to enter a house of worship. There are so many issues with that, but that's where I worry that it's going to be his interpretation. Now, when you talk about the arrests, who are you talking about? Are you talking about politicians should be arrested? Are you talking about protesters? Who are you talking about, real quick, Robert? Who are you thinking?
Well, I don't see any of the big fish, whether it's George Soros or Hillary Clinton or Fauci. I don't see any of them arrested. And it came to my attention, someone posted on Twitter that apparently you have about a month to, if they want to prosecute someone like Nancy Pelosi, after a month, the statute of limitations are going to be done with. And those people who committed those horrific abuses of the J6ers are going to get away with it. Now, President Trump and Kathy Hochul are responsible. They should have the National Guard protecting us. If necessary, a synagogue, like the synagogue they should have national guard, just like in Brown, President Eisenhower used the federal troops to protect. When they integrated the public school, he had to send federal troops to make sure that they didn't violate the rights of people. If necessary, President Trump and Governor Hochul have to make sure to use the National Guard, federal troops to protect our rights. And this guy, Mamdani, I stand over and over again, this guy should be out of this country. They should prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law, and the Congress should pass laws to get this guy out of here. This is absolutely ridiculous. And shame on WABC for letting this guy win. It's
shame
terrible.
on How is WABC responsible for that, Robert? How is WABC responsible? Fill me in.
Well, you didn't go after Kurt hard. If you went after Kurt hard, then maybe Cuomo would have won. Also, there should have been a letter.
By the way, hold on one second, Robert. No, you hold on one second, because Robert, he has a right to run. And there were people who came forward and said that at a certain point he should drop out. I was one of those people. I wasn't by far one of the first ones, because I believe Curtis has a chance to go as far as he'd like to go. It's hard to tell somebody to drop out, but I do agree, especially in the final weeks, for sure, it should have consolidated. But it was pretty clear. I mean, even John Catsimatidis, who's the owner and operator of the station, came out and said, vote for Cuomo. So, I mean, that's a very unfair comment for you to say that there wasn't enough pressure on Curtis, and it's up to Curtis. It's up to everybody in a situation like this. But this is interesting. Robert, I want you to hold on, because you got me fired up. I'll be on with you right after the break.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This shrimp and coconut sauce is divine. What's your secret?
Goya coconut milk.
How does it taste so good?
It's all in that real coconut flavor and that rich, creamy texture.
What about thickeners and added sugars?
None. Just smooth, coconutty goodness.
What can I make with it?
From curries to sweet treats like coconut flan, the possibilities are endless.
Goya coconut milk. Take your cooking to the next level. No question about it. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at amazon.com/new Alexa.
This episode is brought to you by Blink. Doom scrolling during this ad break? Ditch the doom and get peace of mind with new Blink 2K Plus Smart Security. Check on home from your phone with 2K Clarity, noise cancellation, and 4x Zoom. Plus, setup is so simple you can easily install while listening to your favorite podcast. True crime girlies, we got you. Get more, spend less with Blink 2K Plus Smart Security.
Online reviews say I'm steep, rocky, and a difficult trail. Next time, I'm gonna say, not if you're driving a Toyota truck.
We know what we're made of. Toyota trucks.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
Well, let's go back to Robert in Brooklyn. Robert, I hope I cleared the air with you before the commercial break.
Well, look, I mean, in terms of, let's say you and Dominic Carter, you guys worked with Curtis Lewa. You're friends with him. You're professional colleagues with him. And you held back. And when I wanted to go after Curtis or Norman wanted to say something about Curtis, you held us back because you didn't want me to say anything.
I actually did not hold you back, Robert. And second of all, everybody can say whatever they want to say. And it's easy for you to be a Monday morning quarterback. But I also firmly believe, and I said it then and I'll say it now, that I wanted to also see what happened in the debates. There were some people who said Curtis should drop out well before that. I was not. I was probably one of the last ones because I said, let's see what happens in the debate. Maybe there was this wild moment in the debate. Maybe he'd get Mamdani off his kilter and something would happen because he seemed like he had his little canned lines. Mamdani did. That didn't happen. And that's when I realized the race was not going to change. And the stakes are high, but you can't say it wasn't because we weren't trying to save New York. I think the best of intentions by everybody. And I also think it had nothing to do in my case, it had nothing to do with Curtis. It had to do with just looking at the numbers. And I said at the end of the day, you either vote for a terrorist or someone who's not a terrorist, in my opinion.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Wherever Bud goes, his harmonica goes with him. It's a pocket full of soul. Now he's living with prostate cancer. He asked his doctor about Xtandi and enzalutamide. Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. Talk to your doctor and visit Xtandi.com.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du Norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Grabbing the holidays by the boughs with Duluth. Step 1. Hire a mall Santa to handle snow removal.
Ho, ho, ho! My sciatica!
Step 2. Hit Duluth Trading and load up on fire hose pants, buck naked underwear, pocket pack bibs, free swinging flannel, and all kinds of ingenious gear you won't find anywhere else. Grab the holidays by the boughs and shop Duluth Trading. Online and in store.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Jay Kelly, the new film from Academy Award nominee Noah Baumbach. George Clooney stars as an actor confronting his past and present on a journey of self-discovery, alongside Adam Sandler as his devoted manager. Critics are calling it a declaration of love to the chaotic art of filmmaking, with the Wall Street Journal praising it as a transcendent comedy drama. Jay Kelly is now playing only on Netflix.
Rita Cosby is on. The Rita Cosby Show presents Back the Blue.
And this Back the Blue segment coming from Washington State, where new body camera video shows deputies trying to save a man from a truck that had caught on fire following a crash. Deputies responded to a report that a pickup truck had crashed into a tree off State Route 9 in Washington State. When they arrived there, they found that the truck was on fire, engulfed in flames, and the driver was totally unresponsive inside. So they approached the car and were able to reach the passenger cabin. They then pounded on the vehicle and yelled out as one of the officers tried to extricate the driver, who was unconscious inside the truck. One of the deputies attempted to extinguish the fire before smashing the truck's window to rescue the driver. Deputies can be seen, "Get out, get out, get out." Then deputies managed to break the window and pulled him out to safety just in the nick of time. He has serious injuries, but is expected to survive. Thankful, of course, to the men and women in blue who were just there, literally in the nick of time. And everybody, coming on December 20th, it is home for the holidays with Mr. Christmas Vinny Madunio. Get ready to slay your night away with live performances, ugly sweaters, and jolly friends. It is Mr. Christmas himself, Vinny Madunio. He is terrific, singing your holiday favorites live in concert December 20th. And for more information and tickets, everybody, go to homefortheholidays2025.com. It's Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio, live in concert. Again, that's homefortheholidays2025.com. And you definitely don't want to miss it. Well, we're talking about this crazy video that Zora Mamdani put out today, putting it on X, saying, defy ICE. Here's what you need to do. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right not to cooperate. How is this not aiding and abetting? How is this not obstruction? And is this the way Mamdani is going to handle people like Tom Homan? We just played that clip. Tom Homan said to me earlier today, it won't change a thing. They're going to go forward with their mission. I love Tom Homan. He's like a bulldog. It's like he's just going forward. It doesn't matter what happens. And the rest is noise from this little guy like the New York City mayor, Zora Mamdani. He's like, we're still on our mission, and I don't care what he says and what he does. We know what we are able to do and what we must do to protect America. But all I can think about when I think of Zora Mamdani and Tom Homan, I think about the last time that they met. Remember that beautiful greeting that Zora Mamdani gave him when he went to Albany, New York? Who could forget this one?
How many more New Yorkers without charge? Do you believe in the First Amendment? Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan? How many more New Yorkers without charge?
That's incredible. I think I need to play that back again. I mean, that is incredible. That guy is now mayor. I just talked to Tom Homan, and now he's saying we're going to defy ICE. Is this what it's going to be like? He's not going to need protesters. He's going to be leading the protests. Here he is again, our wonderful, eloquent mayor-elect.
How many more New Yorkers without charge? Do you believe in the First Amendment? Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan? How many more New Yorkers without charge?
And he was screaming at the top of his lungs. And remember, everybody was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy screaming and shouting? Because he was a nobody then. He was a nobody when he started also in the mayor's race. And then suddenly all this money came in, and suddenly all this, social media following came in. There are a lot of questions, boy, oh boy, tonight. And here is Zora Mamdani talking about how he told President Trump after their meeting in the Oval Office that they spoke on the phone, and he reiterated to him how terrible it is that they're getting criminals like murderers and rapists off the streets. Listen to this guy.
When I met with the president, I made very clear that these kinds of raids are cruel and inhumane, that they are raids that do nothing to serve the interests of public safety, and that my responsibility is to be the mayor to each and every person that calls this city their home. And that includes millions of immigrants, of which I am one.
Except if you're Jewish. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's looking out for your rights. At least that's my opinion. And if you're a cop, good luck too. This is shocking because it just came out today that Zora Mamdani has now tapped an ex-con rapper who served 7 years for armed robbery as his criminal justice advisor on his transition team. I mean, you can't make it up. This is true insanity. This guy, Masom Linen, he's 49. He's a Bronx convict, now turned activist. He was found guilty of 2 felony heists back in the 1990s. And now he's been appointed on his criminal legal system committee because obviously, I guess he's an expert, right? So this guy was a promising young rapper when he was convicted in 1999 for being part of a crew that robbed 2 cab drivers in New York at 2 different times. One of them, this was a robbery of a taxi driver, Joseph Exiri. And then another one robbed at gunpoint another cab driver. So this guy faced 25 years behind bars. And now, by the way, he is on Mamdani's criminal justice panel. Also, there's a woman that he brought on who has been very sympathetic to Joanne Chesimar, a.k.a. Asada Shakur. That is the woman who was part of the killing of the trooper in New Jersey years ago. And then she fled, remember, to Cuba, and then she passed away. Well, you would have thought that this woman who's also on his criminal justice committee is, she's praising this woman like he was Pope John Paul. And yet this is somebody who killed a New Jersey state trooper. This is Sada Shakur. So this is pretty incredible stuff. And boy, so far what I'm seeing from Zohran Mamdani, it's worse than I ever expected. Not better. It's worse than I ever expected. So here's a little bit. Here is Mamdani in the past. And here's what he had to say about police and prison reforms.
The way that prisons are set up in our society, I would argue that they do not work. They do not make us safer. The instinct is to just take that person, the source of that harm, the source of that issue, and then just throw them away. Put them in a cage and throw away the key. And that doesn't address the reason why that harm was created in the first place. A lot of times, people who create trauma for others are those who themselves went through trauma earlier in their own lives.
Right.
And I bring all of this up to say that, again, like when we talk about policing, I don't think the system actually makes us safer. I think what it does is it just removes problems out of view.
So putting them in prison doesn't do anything. And guess who also clearly supports that belief? I bet it's the guy, the rapper who served 7 years for 2 armed robberies. Maybe he shouldn't be the one advising on criminal justice reform when you've got a mayor who says open up the jails, open up the prisons. Also, he's also saying, let's not forget, he's been saying we don't need to do sweeps of homeless encampments either. How is that going to make New York safer? So we're going to have more homeless encampments. We're not going to arrest people as much. NYPD won't cooperate with ICE. And we're also going to arrest Netanyahu in the process too as well. And I'm telling everybody how they can just stay inside and essentially hide from ICE. This guy's going to have one of those snitch lines. We're seeing Gavin Newsom, who's talking about having a snitch line for ICE, not for criminals, for ICE. So that's what's ahead for Zohran Mamdani. He's going to turbocharge that. But this guy is actually turning out to be as bad, if not worse, than I ever imagined. Because I do believe this guy's an ideologue. Bill de Blasio, I think, made a lot of really bad decisions. I don't think he supported police at all, or at least certainly nowhere near as much as he should have. They turned their back on him. I think he deserved it. But this guy, to me, there are so many things that he's doing that are anti-American, anti-New York, anti-community. It's really frightening. And he hasn't even taken office yet. So buckle up, everybody. And especially when you look at the people that he's putting on these transition teams, it's like they're worse after the worse after the worse. And here he is revving up the anti-Semitic crowd. This is when he was saying that there shouldn't be any military aid whatsoever sent to Israel. Take a listen.
Hello, everyone! Who is ready to end U.S. military aid to Israel? Who is ready to end $3.8 billion in annual military aid? My name is Zohran Mamdani. I am the assembly member for the 36th district here in New York State. That is Astoria and Long Island City. And I am proud to be here at this protest. I am proud to stand unapologetically for the freedom of Palestinians. It is at the core of my politics.
Sadly, it is at the core of your politics, and we're going to be hearing a lot about that. It's really a remarkable moment that's ahead for New York and for this country. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Norm in Brooklyn. Go ahead, Norm. Rob, I think Robert invoked your name earlier, right?
Yes. Now, Robert and I are friends. Okay. So,
and by the way, I like Robert too. He seems like a good guy. I'm with you.
But I disagree. I never felt inhibited, okay, to speak my piece about Curtis to you, Dominic, Oh, well, you were the two hosts I call. So I never felt inhibited. I did, as you recall. I'm sure Dominic would recall.
Absolutely. By the way, I always welcomed your opinion. I always thought,
Yes,
I mean, come on.
You never told me to shut up. You never censored me. So that's my, I just wanted to get that off of my chest.
Right. Well,
anyway.
Robert's deeply frustrated that this Mamdani guy is about to take office.
No, I absolutely.
By the way, and that in general is a fair claim. It's just not. It just doesn't have anything to do with us or you or me or anything.
Yeah, and I would like to. It would be wonderful to get him deported. I mean, I'm absolutely. I'm on the same page with him on that. I mean, if we could get him deported, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. By the way, if we could get him deported, I'll throw a party. If there's grounds to do it, but I don't see that at this point.
No, I don't see that at this point. The fact that he's putting out things on X about resisting ICE officers, showing proper warrants. I mean, yeah, we're going to have a very rocky road ahead of us. I just can assure you of that. I ain't going, as I said in my last call or the call before that. I ain't going anywhere. I am going to be fighting. I'm getting the band back together. I have to contact some people, which I haven't spoken to for a while. And I believe we must test Zoran and we must test him on whether he supports protesters. Because when he has protesters who will protest him, I'm just wondering, will he still support protesters?
And by the way, that's a very good point. And if indeed he blocks, suddenly it's a hypocrite, just like with, he's all for the protesters, but just like you said, when it's the shoes on the other foot,
right.
There should be legal action if he tries to impede you guys. And I also worry, I worry when I hear him, Norm. It sounds like a guy not who's just saying, go ahead and protest. He's like wanting protests, and he seems like he's almost ready to lead from the front. And I'll never forget that moment. I think you and I talked, Norm. I know we did on the debate night. And there was one thing that really troubled me because they said, what are you going to do about protests? That was essentially the question. And he said, I'm going to be leading, I'll be leading, from the mayor's office, it's First Amendment.
That's not what a mayor does.
Yeah, and exactly. That's not what a mayor does. Like I almost got the impression like he's going to set up a pro-protest command center so he could say, hey, go here. Oh, keep going, boys. Triple here. I'm encouraging you.
Right.
I mean, look at the video he did. So is he going to do a video and say, hey, get out there and protest? Netanyahu's coming to town, or this group is coming. Here's where I'm, and is he going to say NYPD stand down? I mean, that's the other thing. What other chess pieces? Because the mayor has a lot of power. Norm,
then Hochul's going to have to do her job.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if he's not going to act like a mayor and he's going to act like a protest leader, or then Hochul's going to have to do her job.
Do you think she will?
And that would be, at that point, she's going to have to remove him.
Do you think she's going to stand up to him, Norm? I don't think she's going to stand up to him.
Okay, well then she's sealed her career.
Yeah, I think it's an election year, and I think she wants those DSA votes. She already endorsed him, so I'm sure he said, well, then I'll help you. As long as you agree with me, I'll help you. And I think she's going to be flipping and flopping and talking out of both sides of her mouth. And I think she is going to try to, say, oh, yeah, I'm tough here, but then turn a blind eye when he does certain things. Oh, I talked to him. I told him maybe that's not a good idea. Did she really talk to him? Or, did she try to rein him in? Or is she? I think it's going to be this dance. And it's going to be interesting to see her doing the dance because she's going to want his votes and she's going to want his support from New York City, which is so important, especially if you're a Democrat and you're running for governor, which she is. She's going to want to have all of his supporters, all of his social media following, all of that. But it's going to be interesting, Norm. Sadly, I'm not sure in a good way, but it will be interesting. Norm, thank you. And I'm so glad you called so we can both clear up Robert. 1-800-848-9222. And we'll continue your calls, everybody, after the break.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size of budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit IKEA.us/dreamkitchen to learn more. Dream the possibilities.
Every day, thousands of Comcast engineers and technologists like Olu Sheyi are working to build the best sports viewing experience.
Some of my favorite moments throughout my life are watching sports with my dad. Now I work at Comcast as part of the team that created our AI highlights technology, which uses AI to detect the major plays in a sports game.
And now, millions of sports fans will never miss a moment. Visit ComcastCorporation.com/sports to learn more.
Everyone wants the Emirates NBA Cup.
And things are heating up.
30 teams started. Bang! But only 8 have advanced to the single elimination knockout rounds. To survive, they'll have to be hungry, relentless, ruthless.
Are you kidding me?
They all want the cup, but only one team can claim it. Who will capture the cup? Emirates NBA Cup knockout rounds begin December 9th on Prime.
This is the Rita Cosby Show.
And coming up on the Rita Cosby Show, we will continue to talk about Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani, also Jasmine Crockett. Oh, my goodness. She is now throwing her name in the ring for Senate in Texas, saying her supporters are so excited that her poll numbers are so high that she says she was forced to run to make a difference. And, of course, in her speech, all she did was take swipes against President Trump. That and so much more coming up, and also more details on that strike on the Venezuelan narco-terrorist drug boat. No, Jim Hines, they were not Mother Teresa serving cookies. They were there narco-terrorists. That is a word, Jim Hines. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Joaquin in Pennsylvania, line 5. Go ahead, Joaquin.
Rita, I'm sorry, my head's a little fuzzy from medication, but you know something? Everybody's being quite delusional if they think that for some reason Hochul is going to be their hope in stopping Mamdani. That's a false hope.
By the way, I agree with you. I think she will not be. Go ahead.
In response to Robert, unfortunately, the problem is this. There were no viable candidates because Cuomo was not much any better than Mamdani because all these policies that he put into place, the anti-policing, releasing criminals, this was all on him. So if anything, it should have been him that had dropped out early in the race to give Curtis a chance, but Curtis, I guess, was a flawed candidate also. And this is just a symptom of the disease that's going on in New York State and that's going to spread across this country because he has to be stopped, and there has to be a confrontation as far as this illegal immigration stuff goes between Holman, Trump, and Mamdani in New York City. There has to be a massive raid, where they finally put their foot down and say that we're not going to tolerate this. And unfortunately, when it comes down to the illegal immigration, it's not just the bad guys that have to go. It's almost everybody because it's a burden on our society, and it's changing the fabric of this country. And unless everybody wakes up and realizes this, maybe perhaps there has to be a process put into place that, the people who are here, and they've been abiding by laws, that there's a way maybe they can apply to stay, but there's still also a burden on our social systems because I forgot where the information is, but the vast majority who are not making enough money, they wind up on the social systems for their health benefits and for the whole 9 yards.
By the way, there was a story recently, Joaquin, about having like the administration saying everybody who's come into the country illegally that they should pay $5,000 per person. That's an interesting proposition. Obviously, you don't want to have people who are criminals here, but if they can pay, maybe that's something.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Payne Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.